What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be talking about some teams who could join the Cup Series in the near future. Over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of chatter about certain organizations who could join the NASCAR Cup Series either in 2024 or maybe in the near future. I'll be talking about each of those teams and talk about their chances of maybe going to the Cup Series in the not-so-distant future. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first team we're going to talk about is the most prolific team on this list, and that is Junior Motorsports. Now, it's no secret that Junior Motorsports have been wanting to go to the Cup Series for a very, very long time. There have been discussions all the way back to the race that Josh Berry won, which was of course, his first career Xfinity Series victory. Dale Jr. stated they were trying to go Cup racing all the way back in 2021 and also in 2022. They've had interest for the last 3 or 4 years. However, one of the reasons that Junior Motorsports has not made that jump up to the Cup Series over the last few years has been the charter system and the charters. The charter prices have skyrocketed since 2021. Back in 2021, charters were worth $10 million. But now, especially with Live Fast selling their charter off to a team like Spire Motorsports, they sold it for $40 million. So that has been holding back Junior Motorsports for making the jump up to the Cup Series. One thing that could help Junior Motorsports potentially make the jump to the Cup Series, though, maybe in 2025 or 2026, is a new agreement with the charter system. There's supposed to be an agreement that's supposed to be done sometime in 2024. Many speculate it could get done before Daytona, and there is a chance that that could end up taking place. One thing that has been discussed is maybe expanding the charter system where instead of just having 36 charter organizations, there could be as many as 40 charter organizations with the charters coming in maybe being a little cheaper. And that could be a way for Dale Jr. and Junior Motorsports to make the jump into the Cup Series. Now, Dale Jr. has also stated publicly that he would love to see a car that he owns run the Daytona 500. He stated that on the Dale Jr. Download episode with Chip Ganassi, who we'll talk about here later in this episode as well. He stated that he wants to see one of his cars run the Daytona 500. And I think there's a chance and possibility in the not-so-distant future that that could end up happening. But like I said, a massive reason why Junior Motorsports has not made that jump up to the Cup Series currently at the moment has been the charter system. Luckily for them, there's a chance, like I said, that will get renewed, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see them jump. I don't think we'll see them in the Cup Series in 2024, but I think there's a chance and possibility that we could see them in 2025 or maybe even 2026 if things do, in fact, change with the charter system. Obviously, the teams want to make it permanent. Maybe that will help Junior Motorsports. And of course, they've got some drivers who they could use if they were to make the jump up the Cup. You've got drivers such as, Sammy Smith, a very young, talented driver who has aspirations to go Cup Series racing. You have Brandon Jones, who has Menard sponsorship and backing as well. You've got Justin Allgaier, who's a former Cup Series driver, drove the 51 car for H. Scott Motorsports in 2014 and 2015. And then, of course, you have Sam Mayer, who's aspiring to go Cup Series racing in the future, just had a career year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And then you have other drivers who could be potential candidates to drive for the team if they were to jump up. Drivers like a Kyle Weatherman, perhaps, a Matt DiBenedetto, who they could use if they were to make the jump up the Cup. Nonetheless, I think there's a good chance and possibility in the near future that a team like Junior Motorsports could make the jump into the NASCAR Cup Series. The second team who could join the NASCAR Cup Series in the near future is Andr Autosport, which is becoming Andretti Global. Now, Andretti has been interested in joining Formula One, and they're rebranding to Andretti Global. However, over the last couple of years, Andretti has said that they're interested in going Cup racing. Now, what's interesting is the Andretti Autosport, also known as Andretti Global, has actually been looking to join Cup for a very long time. If you go back to 2012, they actually were planning to have a NASCAR Cup Series team. They were going to have Kurt Busch as one of the drivers, and I believe also Matt Kenseth was going to be the other driver in the organization, which is going to be a Gen 6 Dodge Challenger, if I remember correctly. However, that deal fell through. That's a big reason why Kurt Busch ended up running the Indy 500 in 2014, is because he was going to drive for the Andretti organization in 2014 or 2013. Now, what's really interesting also about Andretti Autosport is that they actually have been getting involved in NASCAR in some sort of capacity as of recently. They actually have been getting involved with Spire Motorsports. How they get involved with Spire Motorsports? Two big reasons why. Number one, Gainbridge. Gainbridge has a massive sponsorship deal with Spire Motorsports for the next couple of years, and Downtowns, who is the owner of Gainbridge, is actually a co-owner of Andretti Global. The other big reason is because Marco Andretti has been making select starts in the NASCAR Truck Series. Made 2 starts this year, ran at Homestead Miami Speedway. Also, I believe, ran at Phoenix as well. And also made his debut at Mid-Ohio. Ran a little bit okay, didn't run absolutely amazing. But Marco Andretti, I think his ambitions go full-time racing in NASCAR, maybe in the near future. With that investment coming into play, I think that could convince Andretti to come out on a full-time basis, and maybe, just maybe in the near future, Spire Motorsports may end up rebranding to Andretti Global, but maybe Andretti branches out and they run their own organization. Nonetheless, I think it would not be a shock or surprise to see a team like Andretti join the NASCAR Cup Series, though I do think that they're already doing that with going with the Spire Motorsports group. The third team that could join the NASCAR Cup Series in the near future is Nice Motorsports. Now, like Andretti Global and Junior Motorsports, Nice Motorsports has had some interest in potentially going Cup Series racing. Go back to 2022. Cody Efa, who is the president of Nice Motorsports, had an interview with Davey Siegel. And he stated that they actually were looking to go Cup Series racing in 2022 or 2023, and they nearly did it with Carson Hocevar. Now, Carson Hocevar, of course, drove for Nice Motorsports in 2021 through 2023, and Carson Hocevar did an extremely well job with the Nice Motorsports organization. Now, this is an organization that is extremely really good in the Truck Series, and they've been building up their program over the course of the last few years. Though I do think there's a chance, a possibility, the organization could struggle a little bit with Carson moving up to the Cup Series in 2024. They may end up struggling. But they have a little bit of money going their way. They've been getting some investments as well. Another key part that could help a team like Nice Motorsports make the jump up is Trackhouse Racing. Nice Motorsports does, I believe, have a little bit of alliance with Worldwide Express, which Worldwide Express is a big key partner of Trackhouse Racing as well. So if they were to make the jump up to the Cup Series, I think they would have a really good chance in partnering up with an organization like Trackhouse Racing. Again, I think they would need a charter to go full-time into the NASCAR Cup Series, but Nice Motorsports is a very solid organization in general, and I think that they would be very successful. They've attempted to race in the Xfinity Series. I think they failed to qualify for the race they were going to enter, but I think if they had the right people working with them, into the future, we could see a team like Nice Motorsports make the jump up. They've shown some interest before. They've also got some good drivers under arsenal. Matt Mills is a very solid driver, and of course Bailey Curry, who I think is going to be really strong and really good this year with Nice Motorsports in 2024 in the Truck Series. I do think there's a good chance it does happen, and maybe, just maybe, not so far down the road, we see an organization like Nice Motorsports make the jump up. I think there's a chance they go to Xfinity for sure, but they also may, with the interest they've shown in recent years, maybe, just maybe, Nice Motorsports does in fact make the jump up to the NASCAR Cup Series. The fourth team who could join the NASCAR Cup Series in the not-so-distant future is a team that's already been in the Cup Series before, and that, of course, is Chip Ganassi Racing. Now, Chip Ganassi Racing has not been in the Cup Series since 2021 when they sold their organization or their Cup Series operation over to Trackhouse Racing. Now, Chip Ganassi Racing's had a lot of success in the NASCAR Cup Series before. They, of course, have won the Brickyard 400 with Jay McMurray and also the Daytona 500 with Jay McMurray. Kurt Busch has won quite a few races with the team. Kyle Larson's won with this team, and also Sterling Marlin had a great career resurgence near the end of his career from 2001 up until 2002. And Sterling Marlin was the first driver to really help them grow. Now, on the Dale Jr. download, Chip Ganassi has stated that they are not completely ruling out of making a return to the NASCAR Cup Series. Chip Ganassi, of course, could make a jump. Now, how would Chip Ganassi Racing make the jump? Well, over the last couple weeks, there's been some chatter about Honda. Now, Honda is said that if IndyCar does not get it together, they could end up leaving IndyCar overall at the end of their contract, which of course goes through 2026 as a manufacturer support. And they have stated that they may go over and work on their Formula One endeavors, or they may go over and start racing in NASCAR because it's going to be a little cheaper for them when it comes to the return on investment. I think that they would be really good to see Honda join, and Chip Ganassi Racing could be that operation that ends up getting used. Now, what drivers could go to a team like Chip Ganassi Racing? Well, maybe a driver like Brennan Poole goes back to that organization. Maybe someone like a Matt DiBenedetto goes over to Chip Ganassi Racing if they're a startup. Maybe they get someone out of retirement, perhaps, to come in there. Maybe they bring some of their drivers from the IndyCar stable like a Scott Dixon over. I think that could definitely certainly be a possibility for sure. Nonetheless, so Chip Ganassi Racing come back to the Cup Series, I think would be really, really awesome, and I think there's a chance it could happen in like 2026. But I don't think it will happen until then, and Honda does get their contract done, but there is a chance that Chip Ganassi Racing could make a return if Honda, in fact, does make a return to the NASCAR Cup Series. The X organization that could join the Cup Series in the near future is 3F Racing. Now, 3F Racing has been looking to go Cup Series racing for the last couple of years. They announced their intentions all the way back to 2022. And they had planned to make some starts late in 2022 and run a majority of the schedule in 2023. However, those deals unfortunately fell through and they did not end up happening. Now, 3F Racing has actually been competing in NASCAR's Euro Series, and they've announced their intentions near the end of the season in 2023 that they are planning to run around 7 to 8 NASCAR Cup Series races in 2024. Now, they never announced the driver who could be driving. I suggested maybe a guy like Ryan Vargas could drive for this team, considering the fact that Ryan Vargas has actually driven for this team with 3F Racing in the Euro Series. I certainly think there's a really good option, a really strong possibility that maybe this could be the driver that they do end up using if they are to make the jump. It sounds like there's a good chance we'll see them in 2024. Maybe they get an aspiring driver like a Roger Carruth, perhaps, to drive for this team and organization, but there is a really good chance and possibility that 3F Racing could make the jump in the not-so-distant future. The next team that could join the NASCAR Cup Series in the not-so-distant future is AM Racing. Now, AM Racing is, of course, an organization that's been in the Truck Series for many years and also just joined the NASCAR Xfinity Series for the first time on a full-time basis in 2023, where they had Brett Moffitt driving for them on a full-time basis, where Brett Moffitt had quite a bit of a success. Now, going into 2024, AM Racing is going to expand their operation from 1 car to 2 cars in the 2024 season. Hailie Deegan is going to drive the number 15 car in 2024, and there could be someone else like a Frankie Muniz or somebody else going into that second seat in 2024. Now, earlier this year in 2023, there's an article that came out from Moss Kanensky, who at the time was, of course, working with Sportsnet, now working with Motorsports Wire. He put out an article stating that, according to what Chris Knight said on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, he stated that AM Racing has had interest in the next few years where they could join within the next 5 to 6 years. What's really interesting is that Hailie Deegan does have a multi-year contract with AM Racing for the next couple years in Xfinity. If she is to do well enough and AM Racing can get enough funds, because AM Racing will have a lot of sponsorship coming in with Hailie Deegan joining them in 2024, I think this could be their gateway to get in is with Hailie Deegan. Now, do I think AM Racing is going to be strong from the get-go if they join the Cup Series? Probably not. Let's be perfectly honest. They're a newer team and a newer organization, at least on the Xfinity Series side of things. But if they continue to improve in the NASCAR Xfinity Series and Hailie Deegan does, in fact, end up panning out, I could definitely 100% see for sure this organization making the jump up. Whether it's part-time or full-time, it would be to be determined. But AM Racing is an organization that's had aspirations to make the jump up, and they're a team that may join the NASCAR Cup Series in the not-so-distant future. And a final organization that I think could join the NASCAR Cup Series in the near future is Sam Hunt Racing. Sam Hunt Racing is an organization that's been in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for the last 3 years. In 2023, they had 2 full-time cars, the 24 car and the number 26 car. Connor Mosack kind of struggled with that team in 23, I should say, and Kaz Grall did okay, but unfortunately, Kaz Grall will not be running with that team in 2024, as it's rumored that he may be headed to Rick Ware Racing in 2024 in the NASCAR Cup Series. Now, Sam Hunt Racing is a really big team that works with TRD, and they get massive TRD support. They've had drivers like Tyler Reddick and John Hunter Nemechek drive in their cars in 2023 and in previous years as well, though unfortunately John Hunter Nemechek and Tyler Reddick did not end up winning. Now, I honestly could see Sam Hunt Racing making the jump up. They do have a little bit of sponsorship funding from Toyota, and like I said, they get massive TRD support. So I think that could be the massive and huge way an organization like Sam Hunt Racing could make the jump. Now, how big of a chance do I see them jumping? Honestly, I think it's in the 20 to 25% range. I think it's in the lower half because I don't think it's going to happen in 2024. But maybe, just maybe, in either 2025 or 2026, they can make the jump up. We'll see what happens down the road, but maybe, just maybe, Sam Hunt comes in, they bring someone like a Jeffrey Earnhardt perhaps, or someone in the Toyota camp like a Corey Heim in to the NASCAR Cup Series, considering Corey Heim has aspirations to go Cup Series racing. I don't know if it will be with Joe Gibbs Racing, though. So, that is good for today's special video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Link description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's video. What NASCAR teams do you think could join the NASCAR Cup Series in the not-so-distant future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel is going to be the final NASCAR news video of 2023. Saturday, I'm going to talk about the top 10 free agents that remain. That will be the last NASCAR video of 2023. And then on Sunday is going to be the thank you video for 2023. And then on Monday, you will see the goals video for 2024. Got a lot of great content, though, coming out after the beginning of the year that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.